following is a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production.
We are back. New York Mets, past, present, and future, and the two best Met podcasters on the internet, and that is the truth, are here. Robert Cole and Marty Rose. Start with you, Robert Cole. How the hell are you?
Oh, doing very good. Other than
good.
A little sad that we lost 3 games, but other than that, very good.
As Marty would say, we lost to the best team. Am I correct, Marty?
Yeah, well, the Braves are better. There's no question about it. And the surprising thing to me is what they're doing with like half their regulars out. Half their regulars are out, and those top 4 guys that they have in the lineup are just really good, all 4 of them.
Acuna stands out to me.
Oh, excellent. Really.
As an all-around ball player.
You can't get Freeman out for anything. And,
Mets can't,
Donaldson,
that's for damn sure.
No. Just, and they just got great pitching in this series.
And they picked up Melicone, and I was fortunate enough to pick him off the draft heap in my fantasy league, along with Freeman. So it's really a tough game to listen to when they play each other. But Melicone has really improved their bullpen. They're tough, no question about it. I will tip my cap to them and let you guys have a terrific show. Take it, Robert Cole.
Wow, thank you. Like I said, it was a little sad that they lost 3 games. As you say, Marty, they lost to a better team, but at least they were competitive. They were in all 3 games, and I was, buoyed by that, and hopefully they get it together and have a day off today. And the Cubs series and then the Phillies series right after that will probably be the crucial 2 series, I believe.
Yeah. Well, we have, I think they're just playing for the second wild card at this point. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to catch Washington either. I don't think so. Washington's been... They're surprising to me. I think Washington was just playing over their heads, but they're really playing well. And the next 4 series, Cubs, Phillies, Nats, Phillies. So this is it. This is it right now. And they need to win. Frankly, they need to win all these series. You don't need to sweep, but they need to take 2 out of 3, especially at home. And maybe 2 out of 3 every time if they want to if they're serious here.
Oh, I agree. I mean, you have to win every series here on in. Every series basically becomes a playoff series, really. They just have to win some games, stay competitive, and I was a little disappointed in the bats.
Absolutely.
The Braves pitch very well, but
the
bats
hitting, went to sleep. Yeah. You're right. There was no hit, no clutch hitting at all, like they had done, previously coming into that Braves series, where just before that they won games late, clutch hits all the time, and it just stopped.
It's hard to explain why that happened, but for some reason, come the Braves, things just happen differently. The other series before this, they did win the 1 game with a lot of hitting, although they almost blew it with the bullpen. But the Braves just had their number this year. They really do, and hopefully, they they shrug that off and they get back to business with the Cubs. The Cubs have been struggling themselves, and you have to beat the Cubs. That's one of the teams they have to get ahead. You have to beat the Phillies. That's one of the teams you have to stay ahead.
Right.
Right now, I see the Brewers are losing to the Cardinals, and that's good. Let the Cardinals run away with first, and the Brewers are another team they're battling. So, it's kind of a scoreboard watching from here on in.
Yeah. Well, we have to make some. Not we. They have to make some decisions on players. I think they got to make them quickly. Now they got the Cubs coming up, and the guy that's pitching the first game. Yeah. Okay. The Japanese guy. He.
Yu Darvish.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Yu Darvish has trouble with left-handers, left-handed batters. I just saw left-handed batters have a 892 OPS against him. So the question is, do we sit Frazier? Do we bring up Nimmo now and get him out there in center field? Do we sit Frazier and put McNeil at third base and keep Panic in the lineup? So there's a few decisions that need to be made, like today or tomorrow. And I'm wondering if they're going to do any of that, or they're just going to wait till the rosters expand before Nimmo comes back. He had a very good game the other night. He had three out of 4, scored 2 runs, 2 RBIs. So he might be ready. They got to do something to shake it up a little bit in the batting order.
Yeah, and they need a little more, depth on the bench. When you have to bring up Rajai Davis, Luis Guillorme, and Nito, off your bench as your pinch hitters, you're almost better off these days, using DeGrom and Wheeler and Syndergaard as pinch hitters.
Well, that extra inning game against the Braves, I thought it was going to come down to that. And actually, the Braves put up Teheran as a pinch hitter in that game. He struck out on 3 pitches, but the Met pitchers can hit. So I was kind of waiting to see that, but unfortunately they didn't get that far.
Now I understand. You'd want to have Rajai Davis as a pinch runner and a pinch hitter the last month of the season. However, you're going to wait. What is it, 5-6 days before you bring Nimmo up? And Nimmo, I believe, could do a lot more for you than Rajai Davis.
For sure.
You can DFA Rajai Davis, let him go through the system. I doubt anybody's going to pick him up right now.
No.
You re-sign him in Syracuse, and then you bring him up, when you expand the roster. And, to me, that would be the move that you make. Getting him all up here now, and hopefully he's ready to go. Like you said, he had the big game, and he's certainly a much bigger threat than Rajai Davis.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I have to say that outside of that, though, the bullpen's been much better. They've still been doing well, except for Diaz, who, I don't know, they walked him off the mound the other night with some sort of injury, but I don't know whether that's anything serious or not. But you can't trust the guy in a close game anymore. You just can't.
No,
he seems to give up a home run every time he goes out there. So.
And the other problem is, Lugo can close. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But there's that doubt about him being able to go back-to-back games. And Mickey still seems to be enamored with using him 2 innings when he does use him. Yeah. And, you do that, then he's gone for 2 days. So,
Yeah, that's not the way you handle a closer, especially somebody that's got possible arm problems. Or I mean, we're lucky that hasn't resurfaced. I mean, he still has some sort of an elbow issue, but we're just lucky he's able to pitch through it. But maybe he just can't go even one inning two days in a row. We don't know that.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. They never really came out and said it because of, I guess, competitive reasons.
Right.
But
and then Brad Brock has done well. I mean, the other day he got touched up a little bit, but that was, I think, his fourth game in a row that he was in.
Wow.
When he got touched up, and I mean, you can't really blame him for that.
No, Avalon's been okay. Wilson's been okay. Even Seawald, since he came back, is getting up to 94 up there. So I don't know what happened to him in Syracuse, but he seems to be a lot better than he was before.
Yes, he has. I mean,
maybe
he's finally gotten used to the fact that he's a relief pitcher now, not a starter.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
You come out and you let it all hang out for as long as you can, and you don't worry about setting hitters up. You come out and you come after them. And he had a very impressive inning the other night. I think he struck the side out.
Yeah. He's looked very well, very good. And they brought Mazza back up, and they sent Flexen down. I mean, Flexen he's just not a major league pitcher from what I've seen. I don't even know why they bother keeping him on the 40-man. But that could change. Yeah. But and Wheeler did not have a good game the other day either. The rest of them have been throwing pretty well. I mean, nothing else you can say about DeGrom. But Syndergaard, Matz, and Stroman have been pretty decent lately. And I think even Matz is pitching above his head, or maybe he's finally coming into his own. Hard to tell. But Wheeler's been disappointing, getting the Mets behind early and having to fight back. Very disappointing to me.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a guy that's on his contract year. You'd think he'd really be trying to light it up. He didn't get traded.
He's trying.
Yeah.
Not succeeding very well.
No. Maybe Matt's maybe finally the light bulb came on, because last couple of games he's been very good. He deserved better than he got yesterday. If they score a little bit for him.
Yeah. And I don't know about Alonso. I mean, every once in a while he hits a homer, but I don't know. I guess everybody strikes out. I mean, you can't blame the guy. He's having a good year, but I don't know. It's just the timely hits are just not coming. Pretty much for any of them. I don't know. It's really bothersome. Like, what do you think about the Rosario leadoff situation? I mean, I know you could probably flip-flop him and McNeil, but I think McNeil should be one and Rosario should be two. He had it the other way. I don't know if it's that big a deal, but Mickey had it the other way yesterday.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think Rosario would be better in the 2-hole. We'll see if that continues. What do you think? You have an opinion on that?
Well, they need to be 1 and 2. Okay, we've both been saying that all year. Rosario shouldn't be down in the order; should be up in the order.
Yep.
And, it took some injuries for him to finally do that. And Rosario started hitting. I think 1 and 2 either way. McNeil is flexible. I think McNeil's going to hit in either one of the spots.
Yeah.
And if Rosario is more comfortable in the leadoff spot, I say leave him there. Leave him there, no problem. If it doesn't bother him, then you put McNeil up first, because McNeil can hit righties, he can hit lefties. I mean, he hits everybody. It doesn't matter who they are, and you have a better chance with him. And then you try to keep Rosario's mind on business, and pretty much he's been doing that right now.
Yeah. Well, I think it's time also to get somebody at third base instead of Frazier. I know that he's probably better than the other guys defensively, but in the last couple of weeks he's like hitting under 200. I don't know. Panic is doing well. I think I would, I would definitely bring McNeil in to play third and bring up Nimmo. I do it now. I mean, Lagares has been doing well. He has. You can't complain. Since he's been playing regularly. But I think if anybody is going on getting themselves into a long slump, like Frazier's doing, I think you just got to sit him down. You got to play your best guys. This is the time. Yep. You can't wait any longer. This is now is the time, because before you know it, we're going to be out of time. So moves have to be made, and we'll see. We'll see what he puts out there tomorrow. But the Cubs just got swept 3 games also, so that really helped.
Yeah. Yeah, they're reeling. Like I said, right now I have the Cardinal-Milwaukee game on. Cardinals are up 8-1, so looks like Milwaukee's going to lose again. That all helps. If they bring up Nimmo, you then have that availability of going righty-lefty if a right-hander starts or a left-hander starts. A lot more flexibility. Righty starts, you bring McNeil in, play third base, Panic plays second base. You have Nimmo and Conforto out there. You use that platoon. If you have a tough lefty that comes in, well, then you can sit. Maybe you sit Panic and put McNeil at second. You put Frazier at third. There's a lot more flexibility with Nimmo than you have with Rajai Davis. You really do.
Yeah.
And like I said, Davis will probably go through. You talk to Davis and you say, hey, look, we're going to DFA you. Okay, if nobody, picks you up, go back to Syracuse, and, once the 40-man expands, we'll bring you up. So that's the way I would do it. Not that Brody's listening to me these days, but that's what I would do.
Oh boy, it's been difficult. And, I don't know. Familia's been so. Actually, he's been better than he had in that one game where I think he gave up the run in that extra inning game.
Yes, he did. Yes,
he's looked a little better lately. So, I really can't be blaming the bullpen like we did earlier in the year.
Oh, not at all.
No, it's the timely hitting.
Yeah.
Or sometimes zero hitting. I mean, a couple of times they've had 2 or 3 hits going into late in the game. That DeGrom game, I mean, he had to hit a home run himself to get one run out there. I mean, it's just. I don't know if it's not just when he pitches. It seems like it's just when he pitches, but it's not. It's
something with that whole series.
Yeah,
and it looked like J.D. Davis was struggling. It looks like Alonso's trying to do more than he can do. things like that. All of a sudden they all start hitting, but nobody right now seems to be able to pick it up. Usually you have a guy, he'll carry the team for a little bit. And, in this series, nobody did that. No. We're sort of forgetting, how well they were doing before this series. So, we really need to give them a break and see what happens, coming out of this series with the Cubs. Hopefully, things click again. But
yeah, you would hope so. But don't forget that they were playing all those sub 500 teams when they were winning all those games. So you can't poo-poo that. That's a fact. And now, these teams that are coming up are not as good as the Braves, no question about it. And record-wise, they're more on the Mets level than the Braves were. So, hopefully before they hit the road, they can take care of the Cubs. And I think, they have a lot more home games coming up. So
they have more home games than road games. Yes,
a lot of home games. So yeah, like after they go to Philadelphia and Washington, they come home and they got Philadelphia again, and Arizona, who isn't all that great, before the Dodgers come in. So, this is it. This is the time. This is what we've been waiting for. Do or die. This is the time to sit there and watch every inning of every game, and it's this is it. This is it. So,
and 6 weeks ago, you and I were talking about watching reruns of old shows rather than put the Mets on the big set. And
this is
look
true.
how things have changed.
I don't think any of us foresaw what happened. I did not expect it. I don't think any of us expected it. But I guess that stretch with the sub 500 teams got everybody back in the ball game again, and they're just going to have to keep it up, keep it going, and yeah, you're right. They're on the big screen, and even MLB is showing a lot of their games nationally. You noticed that?
Yes.
So yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think tomorrow's Cubs game is on MLB also. Nationally, out of market, of course. So yeah.
And Sunday night, the Philly Met game is on ESPN.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's really good. I'm glad they're getting the big time exposure. It's they deserve it.
Yeah. Like I said, we didn't expect to be playing meaningful games in September 6 weeks ago. So
no, we did. Nobody did. Everybody buried them. Yeah. Anybody who says they didn't is kidding. No question about it. How many games under 500 were they? Like 8?
No, I think they were 10.
I don't know if it went to 10, but they were 7 or 8 games under.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And before the Braves series, they were, I think, 7 over. So yeah, they had some heck of a run, and they just gotta get back on it now.
Yep.
So let's just hope they do. So.
Yeah. Hopefully, when we talk next Monday, we're talking happy again.
That would be very nice. Okay, Robert.
Okay, Marty.
We'll see. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds
and
good.
Everybody else on Comfortably Zoned Radio Network, this is Talking New York Mets Baseball. Have a good week. Good night.
Okay. Good night.
The proceeding has been a Comfortably Zoned Radio Network production. You are hereby advised to keep your humor dry, your dreams wet, your children and grandchildren out of military recruiting stations, and off the laps of clerics who wear dresses. Thank you for listening.